I'm in the StackOne app, and if I search through the list of connectors, you'll see that we're currently missing a connector for Dayforce HCM. Now, Dayforce has a modern REST API that's well documented, but given Dayforce can be extended, like many enterprise apps, we're going to want to build against live credentials and using the API spec for our unique environment. So in this tab, you'll see I'm logged into the Dayforce developer network, where I can see the full API spec in a more standardized format. And in this tab, I've got the full Swagger definition for my sandbox environment. Now I'm going to switch to my coding editor, where I'm in the repo we use at StackOne to build production actions. So here you'll see I've saved the Dayforce Swagger definition, along with the sandbox credentials. And further down, you'll see that each connector is contained in a different folder, which then contains YAML files with the connector and action definitions. So switching to the terminal, I've already installed the StackOne CLI from our npm package. Next, I'm going to install the StackOne agent. And then I'm going to start a new Claude code session. To keep this demo simple, I'm going to ask Claude to develop 2 simple employee-related read actions for the Dayforce API using the Swagger spec and credentials I've included in the docs folder. So when I send this prompt off, Claude is now going to follow the instructions our agent has given it and launch the necessary sub-agents to perform the job. Now this should take a matter of minutes to build and validate. So you can see that this has taken just over a couple of minutes to write and validate the actions. I'm just going to prompt Claude to also test the actions now. So now the StackOne agent has run and validated the connector definitions end to end, and you can see the whole process of building and validation has taken fewer than 5 minutes. If I scroll down the connector directory here, you'll see the new connector for Dayforce that it's created, the metadata it's created, the authentication type, as well as 2 different actions on employees. I can then pass an API key from my StackOne project to the agent and ask it to push the connector to my StackOne environment. So when you're doing this normally, you can actually create a profile for the CLI to hold your API key so that you can run this command more securely. So when I run this and I return to my StackOne project, I can refresh the screen and then the new connector will show up in the dashboard. I can then authenticate the new connector and test it out live. So to do this, I'll create a new auth config. And then I'll create an account. When we click connect, we're going to do some validation on the account to make sure it works. We've then got a connected account and we can test out the actions live. And there you have it.